Hello, everyone, and welcome to the anticipated start of the Emerald Draft League Week 1. Our first game today is going to be for Cheezers versus Waffles, and we are currently getting a couple people lined up in lobby and should be getting started soon. If we, while we're waiting, come on it. I'm sorry. Do we want to talk about some of the what do you call it, predictions
Yeah,
that
current.
that happened this earlier this week for these games?
Yeah, a lot of the predictions currently is in favor of the Cheezers. They have a whole bunch of high-ranking players. However, they do currently have a couple of role swaps from their original draft. They,
That's not important.
true.
uh, we have Neos has swapped to 80 carry because they needed a sub 80 carry and couldn't find one, so they now have a sub support instead. I think that's the only sub for this game.
Yeah, we'll have a couple subs next game, but then we'll go into that later.
All right. It looks like the teams are ready for draft, so we should be getting into that shortly here.
Okay, and we're gonna be switching over now as the draft is already kicking off really strong.
We
Immediately
go
the
with
full
that.
six ban.
That Phil six man just straight away knew. Hey, at least the team. You'd always respect blue team coming prepared and actually knowing what they want to first ban, not waiting taking the 30 seconds.
The
Um,
Yasuo, we saw this in exhibition. The Yasuo is still a respect bet towards a hand mine, I believe.
when we saw the next expedition, I figured that it was just Melee Vayne knowing hand mine and was like, nah, you're not going to play Yasuo. But apparently, other teams are going to respect it as well. Banning that away from him, he is definitely more of a melee assassin player than a control mage player. So we'll see if there's any more focus onto that as to be expected, the Anivia is banned away from Frozen.
And no one likes the scaling Yasuo, but I from what I know, I don't think Frozen is ever gonna get Anivia. That's probably gonna be like one of the most priority bans against Waffles.
I know it was. I believe it was banned in his first expedition game, and then they let him have it in the second one. They tried to. I think that was the weird game where they played Fiora mid into it, if I remember incorrectly.
Oh,
And
it's
well,
that
that
game. Okay.
yeah, that I think that ended up being like a 40-minute game, but Frozen was able to win that game. So I guess that was enough to convince the other teams that they don't want to let him have that Anivia, as Ziggs and Diana are also coming through as well. So another band targeted at Frozen, trying to get him a little bit off comfort, and then this Diana targeted, yeah, at least would be presumed at MBK.
Yeah, I'm sort of surprised about the Diana ban, considering the biggest combo is like Diana Yasuo, and they had already banned out like one of the halves.
All right, and we get a no ban.
And no ban.
Let's see what it looks like. That was supposed to be a Trendemir ban that didn't quite make it. So I have a Trendemir band focusing a little bit of love to the top lane, trying to get Rake off of one of his champions, deciding that they don't really have a good counter pick to that.
Yeah, it looks like Waffles with their bans, and I think their current strategy is trying to get a really comfortable top side.
Yeah, and we never didn't talk about this, but Misfortune is left open, and that is a very strong blind pickable AD carry on this current patch. As good laning, as really strong mid game, late game team fighting.
Oh,
Paired up now with the Seraphine.
that's
So
such a
that
strong combo. Level 6 is just death.
see, now they just need to pick up that Amumu, and they have the whole combo. Um,
Yeah, and
but yeah, go ahead.
there's a bit of breathing room with the Seraphine also. That can go either mid or support. Mid lane for like the mid game, late game team fights, or just to support just to gain that lane dominance. As
Ooh,
Sona's being picked in here.
yeah, and just that from some of the chat messages in the banter chat from Frozen, I don't think he's very excited to be playing the Seraphine. So my bet would be this goes down bot lane. Um, but like you said, the Sona there to answer it. They're trying to get some good scaling, and we do get the Vayne locked in. That's it's going to be a very interesting matchup here down in bot lane. I think the Vayne's going to have a real hard time with this lane from all the poke that MF and Seraphine can bring down, and Sona's not going to do a whole lot of healing early on to protect her.
Yeah, this is like this is one of the heaviest scaling ball lanes, but you have to. This will be up to like the Lee Sin and Handmine to be able to put that pressure down ball lane to see to give them the breathing room that they need to scale into late game as Jarvan gets picked up here. I like that pick into what's currently a scene at the moment.
Yeah, there we go. Just getting that Jarvan in there, some early game aggression coming out from both junglers, as we didn't really talk about that. The interesting first pick, Lee Sin, but both junglers look to make those plays early on. And Waffles definitely have a very clear focus point against this Sona and Vayne down in bot lane. Neither of them are very safe by themselves, so Jarvan can definitely get a lot done there. And as we go into second phase of bans, banning out that Swain, not looking for a big drain tank to go along with the Sona heals, as a Vex is also going to be answered out. So again, just some more focus by Cheezers onto Frozen, not trying to get him off his comfort picks here, as these second phase bans coming out real quick as we have the Udyr banned out. Not sure about that one, as the jungler has already been picked.
It could be a top lane Lee Sin, you know.
This
is
I haven't seen very much success from Udyr in the top lane, so that ban's a little weird, but the Mordekaiser is also coming out, so we will see what Waffles wants to pick here, and it's going to be the set. Still trying to keep those options open, not letting you know exactly where these champions are going.
It's such a press RT too for Waffles. They have a clear focus on just trying to look for the team fights, being easily able to execute as well. As it looks like a Jax hover, and it's gonna get locked in.
There we go, and Rake is throwing down the gauntlet there in top lane, saying if that is a set top lane, I'm going to try and outplay you with this Jackson scale up. So definitely a large index in scaling already on the Cheezers, with really only the Lee Sin to try and pull them together. So let's see what Handline decides to go with here in mid lane to try and round out this comp. And the Ahri is going to be coming through here, so a good mid-jungle pairing here by the Cheezers to try and help their sidelines scale up.
Yeah, at the moment, I see so much playmaking potential from the Cheezers. They're looking for the picks. They're looking for the outplay of just being just outskill your opponent type deal.
It is important to note though that they basically have a Lee Sin insect and a flash charm or a flash Sona is like they're engaged. So they could definitely have a hard time engaging in more of a 5v5 setting. But Frozen is going to bring out the Cassiopeia in response to this Ahri. It's a very interesting pick. You sacrifice a lot of the range that the rest of the team has, but if you're able to get up into melee with following up with the Jarvan and set, you could definitely deal out a lot of damage. But my eyes are definitely going to see if Frozen is able to position well in these team fights to try and get this damage off, or if he even needs to. The fight could be won just with the engage, and the mid lane pick doesn't even matter.
Yeah, I'm more interested in seeing how proactive both of these teams are. This is the first week. We are going to see how well the teams mesh up with each other.
So what you're saying is we're going to see perfect macro play from both these teams because they've had a whole week to strategize and play together. They know everything.
True.
Perfect. You heard it here, guys. There will be no mistakes in this first game. It will be perfect League of Legends.
Yeah, the game is going to be so even and perfectly executed that it's just going to run like like the entire World Series going on right now.
Oh man. Well, that's
It's
that's gonna
gonna
take a while.
it's gonna be real rough for either of these teams to end, considering how perfectly
Uh,
they play.
Man, if it takes you real right 12 hours to play 8 games, it's gonna take us 12 hours to play 2 games.
Oh
That
yeah, we're going for
that
the
could
world
be an
record.
issue. That could be an issue, boys.
Yeah, I'll see you at 8 a.m.
All right. Coming back to the game though, we were talking a little bit on what these teams are looking for. What if we go a little bit more in depth here? How does the Waffles want to set up for their team fights and how they want to play out the game?
They have so many options. They have so many engage options. They're probably their weakest point would be more like early mid, and just trying to get to that level 6 point and starting to group up. Yep, yep. That's how I expect the Waffles to win. I want the Cheezers to try to abuse that with more proactive play and trying to see if they can play more for like an objective focus, trying to get the Waffles out of position and take control of the game. So that's how I see both of these teams playing out, ideally.
All right. And so if Cheezers is going to do that and try and, take over this early game and then get some more of these scrappy fights going, are we looking at MBK and Handline really to start those off, or do you think any of the other people have an opportunity to try and find some of these scraps?
Um, yeah, definitely more of the gang pressure from NBK, but I wonder how well the Jax is going to be able to control the top lane. If we get the Jax rolling early on as well, that's just going to be a major threat to the backline.
All right. Well, we are going to take a quick break here as we step away and wait for the spectator delay to catch up, and we will see you on the other side of this quick break. Welcome back, everyone, to our first game of the day between Cheezers versus the Waffles. Each team trying to start off their season strong with a win here in week 1. And as we talked about a little bit before draft, was it the Cheezers? Yeah, Cheezers came in as a heavy favorite in terms of preseason start opinions from the community as well as a couple members of our content team.
Yeah, but
So
a lot of the predictions were made before the Arctic switch.
nah, we're gonna hold them to their predictions. When they thought that Cheezers didn't have their support playing AD carry and I had a sub support. Okay?
Okay.
So they should have known that this was gonna happen.
Yeah, we'll see how well Niels Flair can pick it up, especially after the Tristana assassin that we saw in exhibitions.
All right, we'll see if he can channel some of his inner Arctic and pop off. As looks like both junglers here just starting down on the bot side of the map, so be looking to maybe path top lane. We'll see if either want to go for some sort of cheesy level 2 gank, or if they're just gonna really go for this more full clear. Maybe trying to put some influence early down in this top lane, as you alluded to in Champ Select. It could be a pretty volatile matchup, especially if they can get a couple ganks off and get this Jax ahead early. Could be really difficult for the set to do anything.
Yeah, Lee Sin is already looking for something.
Oh, the Jax is still level 1. He already uses Counter-Strike. The Sonic Wave is going to land. But Lizzo should just be able to walk this one out. But good chunk of damage landed on him. We'll probably see him popping that health potion. But then again, it's also set. And he doesn't... He has a better Garen passive. So we'll probably just regen all that up anyway, as... Jarvan was also looking for a gank there in mid lane, but wasn't quite able to land anything, so... Both junglers are already active in the early game, not deciding they don't want to full clear their camps.
Yeah, they're really looking for the early aggression, especially with only level 2, and that's looking kind of a bit awkward. But I guess it works. They're spotted out and get to jungle, but they might contest top scuttle.
Oh.
As it starts to spawn.
A little bit of trading down here. You can see that the pushing power here from this Misfortune Seraphine, just putting them under turret, but Nasashi is being a little aggressive with his mana usage, already down to a third, and really doesn't have the damage landed yet to show for it, as Neos gets chunked down a bit, but they're going to be out of mana soon, and might have to give up this pressure just a little bit. But Lee Sin back up here again for a gank, and the Counter-Strike is up. That's going to land, and I think this is just going to be a kill, but Lizzo turns up big damage around with that Haymaker. Tries to flash away, but it's not going to be enough, and finally that Leap Strike comes back up as Jax is able to secure that first blood. So, say it's a pretty good start for that Jax up in top lane.
Yeah, Lee Sin with repeats. Having the wave control there and being forced into a pretty bad position to push it out. Well, that was just good capitalization on the Lee Sin to find something more proactive. Now, who's going to be the second blood of the game? Where do you think we'll find more action?
Well, second blood of the game, based off our tendencies so far, I'm going to say it's going to be set again. Lee Sin's going to go back up there, punish this flashless set once again. And that seems to be Cheezer's game plan so far, is just to gank top lane. As the Cole is actually bought for the Jack, so maybe he's done ganking. He's just trying to farm now.
Yeah, I do like the early vision control for Waffles. They were able to get the scuttle, and we could be seeing a potentially advantageous fight for Waffles if they want to start up the dragon soon. Nah, with mid lane now being the main focus.
MBK is looking for something. Can the charm land? It's going to go wide as Frozen sidesteps that. He's not going to sidestep the Sonic Wave and have to force his flash out, but good fancy, would say feat, but not sure that term quite applies here, but able to dodge that charm. MBK trying to loop back around, but he does get spotted as Frozen respectful of the collapse and is going to back out. But again, good pressure here by MBK, forcing summoners in both solo lanes. And now they all comes out, but the charm goes wide again, but it's not going to matter with no flash on the Cassiopeia. The Jax flashes forward, takes him down. Now Neo's Flare going under turret, trying to get on to boost this. They're going to trade 1-for-1, but now Chili is under turret, and he goes down, and that's going to be a 2-for-1 trade in favor of the Waffles.
Yeah, nice knockup going in from Jarvan, but wasn't able to capitalize anything. The bot lane, however, overextending, tower diving even, trying to show that pure aggression that they have, trying to get a bit of a lead, but I don't think it was worth it. It ended up for a 2-for-1, and the wave is now frozen, and is in a pretty bad spot.
All right, well, we still pretty close game here. Only a 300 gold difference, but it looks like Waffles might have the prio they were looking for to secure this dragon. Neo's Flare is walking over, but he's gonna have to back this off. Can't contest that in a 3v1. So that's gonna be first dragon over to Waffles, even though Cheezers was the one trying to get aggressive across the map. And, we are looking here, both junglers looking to continue their farming here as Lee Sin will finally take another reset. And as we take a look around the map, this Misfortune already is up to a 15 CS lead over the Vayne. And you really see just that pressure that they're able to put out here in this bot lane with this range and poke advantage. The Sona's not able to match that damage or sustain up really all that damage. So going quite well down here for Waffles.
All right. So now, yeah, but with a lot of the defensive summoners is gone for the Misfortune. They are hitting level 6 soon. That is the death point of what we were talking about earlier. But maybe they're able to capitalize something with Misfortune not having flash.
And then Sasha's got to be careful here. He gets exhausted. Ahri and Lee Sin are down here. See, he pre-flashes the charm, but it's not going to matter as the charm follows through anyway. And Handmine redeeming himself a little bit there, missing his first 2 charms on Frozen, but is able to make that gank work here, relieving some pressure from bot lane.
Yeah, a really nice roam, taking advantage of how hard Waffles has been pushing, but now they don't have anything for the Rift Herald. It looks like it's going to be the objective game for Waffles as they pick up the Rift Herald now.
And trade 1 kill in bot lane for this Herald. See how much value they're able to get out of it. As nothing should come out of here, but Jarvan might be looking for a dive if Lizzo is able to push this wave in. It looks like he's just going to back off here. Maybe look for just a regular gank as Counter-Strike is being used. But now Frozen's in trouble. Lands the ult onto the Ahri, but just gets kicked back by the Lee Sin. But he has the damage to trade it back with that Ignite. And that's a 1-for-1 kill, while at the same time, Jungler gets a successful gank off in top lane, taking down Rake. And dropping the Heralds. That might just be the full tower here.
That's going to be a lot of plays for sure. But Lee Sin's going to cover the top lane for now. That was really well played by Frozen. He was able to get the ground onto the Ares, not able to flash away, and getting the last Twin Fang to execute him. That was
Just
really
a
well played.
little bit unfortunate. You know, Handmine is furiously typing in all chat that Ignite is unfair, even though he has Ignite as well. As the Sona ult comes down, and Boostus has to cleanse to get away from the angle from the Condemn. And a good exhaust come down from Nisashi to disengage that fight. But Boostus just barely able to change his angle just barely to avoid that Condemn into the wall.
Yeah, but now Misfortune is now the level 6 spike, and we're going to see a lot. I believe we're going to see a lot more action coming in from the bot lane of Waffles. Having the to go button of Seraphine, it's just a nasty combo going down there.
We'll see if Jarvan is able to come down here before these. Looks like these flashes are going to come up in time before any gank happens. So at least both bot laners will have their flash coming up to try and avoid this wombo combo from the Misfortune Seraphine. But definitely have to be careful not getting caught into it, because if you get caught there without your flash, you could just end up dying before the CC even finishes up. But looking up at the top lane, we have a first item Hull Breaker on this set. Not looking to leave that top lane at all this game. How do you feel?
He's definitely trying to contest the extreme scaling that Jack says. I'm not sure if that goes along with Waffles, as we have a fight here.
The Lee Sin kick comes straight into the charm, so he doesn't actually move, but it's good enough to lock him down as he dies inside the CC chain. But this whole time, Set's just finishing off that tower from the Rift Herald, and there's nothing really else for Cheezers to get down in bot side. So it's going to be one kill, but the Waffle still accelerating that gold lead, taking down first turret.
That is 2 ultimates down now, though, and Dragon is coming up soon. So we'll see if Waffles is able to capitalize, as it looks like NBK is going to look something bot lane.
All right, we'll see if he can find anything. He doesn't have his ult, so this could be difficult. Yeah, they're just going to walk away. He forces the flash out of Boostus, and the Sona ult comes in, but that's a little bit too aggressive. And now the bullet time with the Seraphine ult comes out, but the exhaust comes out to save them. And now Boostus is going to go down, as they are going to have to make a retreat here. The Jarvan's coming in with Cataclysm and Flash. We'll see if he can get in here. He's going for it, misses the knockup, and finally drops the Cataclysm down onto the Sona to guarantee that kill. But Frozen doesn't quite land that ult, as Cheezers are able to disengage. Overall, only being a 1-for-1. But it just seems a little too forceful by Cheezers when they didn't have any of their key ults.
Yeah, that's a lot of aggression. Now Dragon is freed up, and they did bring the set down here, so it should be uncontested.
Right,
maybe.
Handmine may be looking for something, but I'm not sure they're going to get anything. Lee Sin goes in. He lands the Sonic Wave, but it's not going to drop down in range for him to smite it, as Set suplexes him out of the fight to make sure there's no smite that comes down. A valiant attempt by MBK, but just not quite able to land that damage.
I respect NBK though. He's doing everything that we wanted him to do. He's trying to find these productive plays. He's trying to constantly put pressure on the map. The only issue is a lot of objectives are already down. There's entire first tower down on top lane, and both Rift Herald and 2 dragons.
Yeah, and I mean, we kind of expected this coming from draft with how much scaling that Jesus had drafted and how much like this early power spike Waffles has on their first item spikes with the level 6s. So definitely makes sense that they're really pushing the tempo here, and we'll see if Cheezers are able to slow the game down a bit and let these carries scale to be more useful later on in the game. But the Vayne so far isn't all that useful unless you're in these smaller skirmishes like we've seen down in bot side. As MBK, yeah, you're not going to find anything there. We'll just back off, clear some vision, and go back to his jungle. But, so far, a pretty good game from the Waffles. Opening up a 2,000 gold lead, getting all the neutral objectives, like you said. How do you think, are Cheezers, do you think they're in a good spot still? Or do you think they really have to find something to bring themselves back into this game before they can scale up?
I think they're going to have to try to find more, because as In terms of
Oh, and
execution,
we might find it here as the charm whiffs, and Frozen doesn't quite able to land his ult either, but Lee Sin just gets trapped there in the miasma and just goes down, and Handline's been having a bit of trouble trying to land these charms onto Frozen. He's hit everyone else, but can't quite land them on Frozen.
yeah, like I said, it's really hard in terms of execution. There has to be skill shots landed, plus the fact that Waffles, they have a lot of disengage or just cancellations on a lot of the potential that Cheezers has. With the Cassiopeia Miasma, they have the Seraphine ulti to disengage and re-engage for the Misfortune ulti. There's just a lot of resources that Waffles has to put the fight more into their favor. So I'd like to see Cheezers try to set up better.
Oh, as the ult comes down onto Nasashi, but Neo's Flare gets immediately exhausted and then charmed up. Opening up the bullet time, he's able to cancel that with the Condemn. As they're still trading, Nasashi goes way too far forward. We'll see. I'm not sure Boostus is going to be able to clean this up. He needs one more auto attack on Neos, but he's not going to find it. The turret will finally find it as they trade back 2 for 1 in favor of Cheezers as Neo's Flare gets a double. But
Yeah, maybe that's why they chose the Vayne pick. Just to immediately cancel out the Misfortune ulti. That's you know.
yeah, if you're in melee range of the Misfortune ult, you can condemn it.
Yeah,
Easy.
easy.
Perfect counterplay.
Yeah, we're seeing a bit of a synergy discrepancy in the bot lane as well because Misfortune had only ulti, not realizing that the Vayne was charmed. And it left Vayne un-CC'd and able to cancel out all the damage early.
Well, to be fair, as we say that, Handline actually almost lands a charm there on Frozen, but he is going to flash away in time. But Boostus was exhausted during the CC chain, so probably decided not to drop his ult there. But like you said, once that CC chain ended, Vayne was free to just cancel the ult, so not a lot of damage coming out afterwards. But then Waffles just kind of walked back in thinking they could take that fight, and Vayne just started proccing the Silver Bolts in, taking huge chunks of HP from them.
Yeah, but now Waffles is hard focusing.
Can's got to carry a huge 3-man knockup, but there's no CC to follow it up. As now the Cataclysm comes in, but it's kind of a disaster here for Waffles as they're trying to flash away. But Vayne goes way too deep, straight onto the miasma, and just gets destroyed by Frozen. Jax is finally here and is trying to get up onto Boosted, but there's a good kiting being done by MBK, just landing every single Sonic Wave. As now Frozen has to run away, but it's not going to be able to. As Lizzo is finally here, but now he's just in a 4v1. We'll see if he can land a Haymaker to try and clean this up. He lands one huge Haymaker, taking out Jax. The MBK is having his issues trying to heal up through that. And a huge play by Lizzo to try and get 2 back, but ends up trading his life for it as well. And that ends up overall being a 5 for 3 as Vayne went down early in that fight.
Yeah, both Misfortune and Seraphine didn't have their ulti in the initial engage. Even though there's such beautiful engage from the Darwin, there wasn't enough follow-up damage. And it looked like the focus is really split. That wasn't really...
Nasashi's got to be careful here. Neos is looking for it. Handline comes in, lands the charm onto Boostus into the Condemn, but it doesn't find the wall. And now Boostus is still alive somehow. The healing from Nasashi keeps him up. And now Handline, with no alt mana for his ult, is trying to run away. He gets a little bit of a heal, and now Nasashi might be a little bit overextended. So he just gets stunned up, taken out by Jax. And we'll see if Witch is able to get over the wall, but doesn't look like it. And just chasing too hard, Ari barely able to get out of there, get to the Sona for that little bit of health they needed to finally walk it out. That ends up being a 2 for 1 trade in favor of the Cheezers.
You see, I don't have much to say about that, because that just looked like a straight-up fiesta.
And we might be getting a little bit more of this as now Rake is caught. He's already used that Counter-Strike, so this might just be a dead Jax, but he's going to find the Blast Cone and knock himself away. As it looks like he's trying to chase. Cassio's coming up from the bottom, and Rake's walking straight into it. He doesn't have this flash up, and he's not going to be able to get over the wall. Just tries to go back in, but nothing's going to happen from there. But that is at least going to buy Cheezers the time they need to secure this dragon and cancel out the stacking from Waffles.
Like I said, a bit of a fiesta. People are just so focused on trying to get the kill. They're just walking straight into the enemy jungle, and there's so much disrespect going in. Not realizing how well each team can converge, especially without vision.
And we're going to get another fight here as Jarvan goes straight in. The bullet time comes across onto MBK, and he's going to go down. Now the rest of Cheezers are just going to have to run for their lives, and should just be just a kill. But this whole time, Lizzo is just pushing up in top lane, taking another turret. And the Cheezers definitely have to be careful about how fast Waffles can take Baron if they take another one of these unfavorable trades. That haymaker damage is just destroying Rake, and Lizzo's just completely ignoring him hitting the tower. Things have started to go real bad up here in top lane.
Yeah, more towers being taken in the mid lane as well, opening the map really wide for Waffles. And so we'll see how well they can push forward their vision, and as I was saying earlier, that's one of the biggest reasons why all these fights happen. Just a lot of disrespect and not having the vision to realize how easily the enemy team can converge.
And somehow, with all this fighting, we've somehow managed to stay at a 2,500 gold lead for Waffles. So, Cheezers doing just enough to keep that gold lead where it's at, but Waffles are definitely getting control of the map, like you said, with these turrets being taken down, and we'll see what they decide their next move will be, as Dragon's not up for another 3 minutes, and their stacking has been temporarily stopped here. So they might try and set up some vision around this Baron and see if they can get a free Baron with this Cassiopeia damage.
You can see with the gold graph how up and down it's been. No wonder why it's been so equal. Just constant fighting. I do appreciate how well the Cheezers have been in terms of trying to find these openings. They're pushing forward their advantage really hard, and that's. And I'd like to see how well they'd be able to play more in a team fight setting, to be honest, as they're already looking for these types of plays.
All right. Well, one thing we just got to point out is that our support main swapped AD carry has by far the worst vision score in the game so far. So, not quite translating that support role into his new position here. And so definitely very dark on the map for Cheezers here, with really only vision deep on their side of the jungle in that one control ward they just dropped in Baron. I guess MBK just dropped, but now Neo's Flare is actually in trouble. Has to flash away early, but now he's locked in the Cataclysm. Which gets exhausted, is not able to put down the damage. As now Rake shows up, and now Waffles are having to run for their lives. We'll see if they can get the speed up from Sona to continue this chase. They just have to be careful of this Haymaker, who comes in and completely half-healths the enemy team. But it's not... Oh my god, that was so much damage coming in onto Vayne, as he's able to trade a kill back. And now Waffles are trying to do this Baron, but they have no one to tank for them. They're dropping the MF early just to try and get some damage down, but Jax knows what's going on. He's already TP'd down here.
This is so dangerous for Waffles.
There are no smites up here at all. It's just Jax versus the world trying to get this stop. He's not going to be able to, but is he going to buy enough time? The damage has stopped, and now it's at 1k, and Lee sits in the pit.
Oh, the steal!
He doesn't get the smite, as Cassiopeia is able to finish it off. But now they're going to need a run for it, as the charm does land. It's being chunked down majorly. There's no speed left on the Sona. Can she give them a couple more movement speed buffs? Try and get them in. Frozen's trying to get this recall off in the bush, but it's not going to matter as the Foxfires come out from the Ahri and clean up that kill. But how did the Cassio get that Baron?
What? Wait, I thought... Was that a visual bug? I saw the Lee Sin get the...
Wait, am I...
Oh, wait.
Yeah, Cassio got the Baron.
Did Lee Sin kill the Seraphine in pit, and that looked like... Okay.
It must have been it. I did not see the health. The health just dropped from around the 900 range. I thought Lee Sin was going to be able to get it, but I guess the Miasma was there to stop him from comboing it with his Q, so he's just trying to smite it and just missed that timing a bit. I'm not sure who I
Wait,
think it was just Seraphine that lived.
who even has Baron?
No, Seraphine died. Did everyone die?
The,
Or
everyone?
Misfortune still has it. There we go.
Yeah, Misfortune still has it. Okay.
Misfortune being the sole recipient has looking to get a bit of a fight here going on. A little bit of a skirmish. Neos Flare's on the flank. He decides to ult straight in to condemn into the wall on the Jarvan, but he is very tanky right now. He decides to go back in and drop the Cataclysm to lock them in place for the bullet time. But it's not quite enough. But Neos Flare just goes way too deep straight into that Cassio and Misfortune and gets shut down. And Cheezers has to be careful here because there is still those Baron buff minions coming in. But Jackson and Lizzo trading a bit here, but doesn't look like there's going to be too much else coming out of this as Waffles retreat back to this dragon. As Lizzo's going rather deep here, but with the support of his team, nothing's going to happen from it, but
There's
going to come back.
There's a lot of ultis already down currently for Waffles. The only engage that they really have currently is the Seraphine and Set. So we'll see if they're able to use this to push the dragon advantage.
All right, kiting it back for now, waiting for the Jarvan to get back in, and it looks like we're going to have another 5v5 fight right in the river here to contest this next dragon. There is a pink ward in the back of the pit for Cheezers, so they know when it's been started. But other than that, they have no vision inside of the river, so it could be difficult for them to walk in here. As Waffles is finally going to start this one up, and Cheezers are in a bit in an awkward position to come in to contest this. It looks like they're just looking for a steal by MBK over the backside. Waffles is going to spot him out here and see if we actually get this fight. Baron or Dragon down to 3,000 health. The Seraphine ult comes in, and it lands onto the Sona, and the ult combo comes in, and the Sona immediately dies. But the Jax gets in the backline, but doesn't quite have enough damage, and a huge Lee Sin kick to hit that Haymaker back over the wall to save his team. But it's not going to be enough, as that's going to be a triple kill over to this Misfortune and the Dragon to Waffles.
That was such an awkward positioning. The Seraphine ulti going down and disrupting straight into the Jarvan ulti. And Jarvan Cassiopeia ulti combo. That was just so much damage, and Cheezers couldn't figure out a way to front to back this. They just died one by one after the fact.
Yeah, you saw that the Jax tried to jump into the backline to try and buy some space for his team, but I think he just got immediately exhausted and couldn't get the damage down to take out anyone in the backline.
Jax currently has a flank.
From there, it's a bit of an issue as they're trying to go in onto the set, but he is very tanky. He still has the Haymaker available and it just destroys MBK. And now Jax is in the backline, but he is now in a 2v4 running for his life here. And I think the R is just going to let him see if he can escape, but he's walking straight into the Jarvan. See if he's able to get in. He is able to hit that blast cone, but Jarvan just flashes straight over after him. Jarvan's not going to be able to win this 1v1, so needs his team to show up. The Seraphine ult comes in to buy a bit of time, but Drake should end up dying here, but he is buying a ton of time for his team. I'm not sure about using the flash there. That's a important tool I would have liked to see him save, but he is going to go down in the end. And now we're up to a 9,000 gold lead for Waffles with 3 minutes until Soul.
Yeah, the Cheezers are really digging in for scraps at the moment. With the last fight, it all started off with a 3v4 because the bot lane, they went top lane to clear the wave. They're trying to protect their top lane.
No, one second here. I'm no set main, but what is a shield bow doing in his inventory?
Dominance. You've seen how big these Haymakers have been in every single fight thus far.
Yeah, why does he need this little shield from shield bow when he has his Haymaker? I can't say I have seen the shield bow set tech, but you know, I'm sure someone's going to tell me how this is just a normal set build. But definitely an interesting one. As the grounding comes out by the Ahri, not able to get the ult off. Finally able to get it off and escape, but that's ult and flash down. from the Ari in exchange for the flash off of Cassio and the ult off of Jarvan. But
There was two ultis also. The Cassiopeia used her ulti, and that might put Cheezers at an advantage if they can push it.
it's just the issue of how do they find this engage. It has to come off of basically a Sona or NBK finding a great kick, but even if they isolate one target, I'm not sure they can continue the fight. As you can see, they popped their ults and still just didn't do anything to Neos. Now they're just getting run down here with the gold advantage. Frozen chasing out their backline completely, and that's all three inhibitors now down for Cheezers, as Waffles are just going to retreat to this Baron buff.
Yeah, that was a lot of summoners used and ultis used, so we might see a re-engage over at the Baron if Cheezers probably has to fight this, don't they?
I don't know how. How do they get? There's complete vision control by the Waffles in the red side, or in the top side jungle. I mean, the Baron just is already dead.
It's disintegrated.
So fast.
I take back what I said. It disappeared so fast.
It's like I'm not sure how they somehow have to stall up this Baron with double super minions coming into every lane, with Ocean Soul being up in 40 seconds as well. This looks like it's just going to take one more push by Waffles to close out this game, and see if Rake makes it a little easier. He looks like he's going to be able to get away here, but Waffles just running straight down mid, not even concerned about setting up for this Ocean Soul. They're just going to get all the minion waves into the Cheezer's face and then maybe turn around for this dragon. As they actually catch Rake here, trying to recall, the Seraphino actually gets pulled out by the set ult, but a huge Cataclysm comes in, just locking everyone in place, and this Vayne just can't do any damage. Finally, one kill comes down, but the Misfortune's already gotten a triple kill, and this is going to be game right here with a great engage from Witch, finding that cut-out person, just chaining it into a team fight here for the win.
Yeah, that was just such a disrespectful recall. They had full vision and knew where everyone was. Now they're just going to try to camp as they finish it off here.
And just like that, Waffles are going to take game one of the Emerald Draft League against Cheezers in a pretty clean 32-minute game. Never losing control, just maintaining a little small gold lead and just punishing the mistakes by Cheezers when they try to take fights.
Yeah, we can see here how much damage the Misfortune was able to do.
Man, I mean, you just saw it in that last team fight. I think Vayne procced like 3 of her silver bolts onto Jarvan, and they just barely had the damage to kill him. And by that point, everyone was already dead. So just really lacking in the damage department with how tanky this set and Jarvan ended up being. So that's a great friend request. But any closing thoughts you have for this this kind of stomp that the Waffles were able to pull out?
Good drafting from Waffles, clean game, and they're just good macro play, to be honest. Every single play that Cheezers had, and Waffles would always respond with, "Hey, we're just gonna get the dragon. Hey, we're gonna get Rift Herald. Hey, we're going to get top tower. Hey, 5-man ball lane. Apparently, Cassiopeia gets Baron."
All right. And with that, we're going to take a quick break as we set up our Game 2 match of the week. Let's see who between Leviathans and the Bombers. Welcome back, everyone, to Game 2 of our first week of Emerald Draft League. We have the Leviathans on blue side and the Bombers on red side. If we look at our community predictions real quick from pregame. Looks to be a pretty even split here between the two teams, with Bombers getting a slight edge in the community vote, 53% to 47% to pull out the win here. So, looks like community is pretty split on the strength of these teams.
Yeah, currently, Bombers are coming off this with a loss, as the Leviathans are coming off of game one with a win for now. So,
All right, well, we'll see if the Bombers are able to bounce back from their game one loss, or the Leviathans are able to take the 2-0, and Bombers will fall to 0-2 as we get into draft here. And I do not know what is up. Apparently, everyone in this league plays Fiddlesticks because it is banned in every game we see. But we got an Ari, Vex, and possibly a Sivir ban coming out here by Leviathans, with the Bombers banning Vayne and Fiddlesticks so far.
the vain respect for the melee Vayne. As we see a Mordekaiser coming out from Leviathans. They don't want to see that. So,
All right, and I guess we have Leviathan Scooter, I believe, is subbing in for their, if I'm remembering correctly, for their normal jungler. Is Give Me a Cup twice, is out this week. And do Bombers have any subs?
they did not.
No, they do not.
It'll only be
so.
Scooter Sasha being the sub. As, of course, the Maokai.
There we go.
FTW.
That's what we want to see. More Maokai.
We'll see how well Doki he can bait out this Maokai. We've seen it in both exhibition games. It's been highlighted. We see how greedy these players can be for kills. And apparently a giant tree is just the perfect target.
Yeah, it's just what I like to see. This is now Doki's fourth game on Maokai, as he played it last game in their victory. So I'm assuming this is going to Doki. It technically can be flexed. It is a very strong top laner and jungler right now. But seeing as Doki is now 3 for 3 on the champ, I think he's going to be holding on to that as we get the Jhin pairing again that we saw. I believe we saw this in game 1 of their exhibition match. Melee Vayne and Doki were on the same team there, and this is the combo they pulled out
Yeah,
in their
really
game 1.
Feeling really comfortable as Bombers. They lock in the Misfortune Seraphine to get that combo again. And meta jungler incoming. Let's see how well Hecarim snowballs.
We do get that combo again, probably coming out of this bot lane with this Seraphine Misfortune. But the Hecarim still being up for Scooter. It's a very strong pick. It's really besides the Jhin, it seems like everything coming out here is currently just a very strong, normal pick. The Jhin is definitely has been rising in priority recently, but it's definitely been more of an answer AD carry to the AD carries that have recently been getting buffed, like the Misfortune and the Caitlyn are two things that Jhin is pretty commonly picked into. So far, both teams just kind of trading back and forth some power picks as we get into these second phase bans, and a little bit of focus here on the mid laner by Bombers taking out the Akali, as might see a Darius ban. Take that away from Ghost. But we will see. No, we're going to pivot to a Victor ban, focusing more on banning out Pity, who is a pretty strong mid laner in this league. So it's I like the playing focus to him, making sure that trying to get him off of a comfortable champion.
Yeah, there's a lot of respect bans coming out against Pity. The Vex especially, I've seen that a lot from him. Um, all these control mages just going around as the Nasus.
Nasus ban is it's an interesting one, but I guess Tucker does not feel like he wants to deal with that. Um, we will see what bombers end up wanting to pick here, as it's probably going to be a blind pick for their solo lanes. Oh, actually, it's going to be a Nunu locked in for Curiel, so that Trundle is going to be going up top lane.
Yeah,
That is a
I don't recall.
interesting one.
Yeah, I was wondering because I didn't recall Kirill playing Trundle in his arsenal. So, do you do you think they expect the Maokai top lane, or do you think
And
the Trundle is just more of an answer? Or
I think Trundle is just, probably something that Ghost is, comfortable on. I guess technically they could do a real big swap up and put that Trundle support, and Pity could take the Seraphine. But we have to talk about everyone's favorite champion. There's a Teemo in this game.
I I don't even know what Timo does nowadays. Did they scale him? Did he tweaks, or is he just the same old Timo that I
I
remember?
don't think Teemo has been touched since the durability patch when everyone was touched. But that's going to be interesting. We also got the Varus coming out in mid lane. Yeah, I'm expecting we're going to get a AP Varus coming out. Although normally that's more of a counter to a mid laner pick and not necessarily a blind pick.
Yeah,
As the Vel'Koz coming out could have a pretty good matchup in here with outranging him, but
that was an
the Varus
insta
is
lock
definitely going to
Vel'Koz.
bring. He's going to bring good peel for this Trundle just trying to run at him.
Yeah, that was an insta lock Vel'Koz. It looks like Bombers have a plan going into this game. They want to see if they can outrange the Leviathans. They have a lot of Leviathans has to walk into a lot of the Bombers engage tools or
This
and
is
damage.
the Bombers' backline has extremely long range, so we'll see if they're able to put that to good use with this beefy front line buying them space. Um, not sure what the Teemo offers besides maybe he can harass the Trundle lane, I guess. But I feel like if you even fall slightly behind on this Teemo, you just get run down in a sideline, and I'm not sure you offer anything in a team fight, but we will have to see if he's able to provide anything for this team.
Timo does provide a lot of vision and control around objectives, especially if you
Oh,
can only clear out so many wards. As is this going to be a
I guess
Maokai?
Doki wasn't meeting us when he said he was being trolled in chat, and he said it's a Teemo support incoming. The
Speak.
Maokai is locked in top lane. This is going to be a Teemo Jin bot lane.
Uh,
I wonder if that was a mispick on their support, and they decided, they're just gonna have to play with it.
Look, man, Donkey has a
I'm not sure what
reputation. Okay.
I'm not sure what the rules are around, redoing draft for a misclick or a mispick on champion, or if Doki, actually wanted the Teemo and he's just trying to trick us all here in chat. But it's definitely an interesting thing to to play.
I've
You're lost for
Don't.
words now.
Yeah, it's one of those things where Doki probably has one of the most unique support champion pools. So I so it's one of those.
Wait, this is a Jin mid as well.
We'll see what happens. As okay,
Jason
Jin.
just locked in the Jin.
So it's going to be a Varus balling. Varus
What
Kiva.
is going on?
Leviathan's really just threw us for a loop. I
They picked such a normal team comp in their first game, and then they're like, okay, we're gonna anything that could be considered normal, we're not gonna do it. Holy
We're,
cow!
this
All
is
right,
what you call Clown Fiesta material.
All right, coming back to this game, since it might be a little bit hard to talk about the Leviathans comp here. What does the Bombers team comp want to do, and how do they execute and get a win this game?
I a lot of their pressure is having a whole bunch of slows. Like a lot of Leviathans, again, as I said before, they have to walk into the Bombers in order to actually find anything. So that leaves a lot of slows available. They have the Misfortune Make It Rain. They have the Trundle Pillar, and Nunu's Absolute Zero. It just provides them a lot of room for them to set up in these initial team fights. But that also sort of depends on if they're caught off guard by the Leviathans. We sure were caught off guard, especially in this draft.
All right, you want to take a stab at how Leviathans wants to play this game? Wait, yeah. It's wait. They just traded. Okay, they've traded champions. They did not end up picking their own champions, so it's going to be a Teemo top, Varus mid lane, and then Jin Maokai.
So Leviathan's just trolling us casters, as they didn't really need to trade in the first place.
All right. Well, you want to take a stab here now that we their draft has been a little bit more normalized. What you think is going on for Leviathans here?
So for Leviathans, all eyes on the Sacrum. He's gonna be the engage. He's gonna be the run down dive. He's going to have the Maokai support, just being able to ult in from behind him after he gets the engage. So we'll see how well they're able to pull their comp off. It's definitely looking more like a pick poke comp as well.
All right. With that, we are going to take a quick break as we wait for Spectator to catch up, and we will be back and see you all on the other side. What the fuck? Welcome back, everyone, to Game 2 of Week 1 of Emerald Draft League between Leviathans versus Bombers, where Leviathans has decided they're going to pull out a rather spicy comp here as Doki is just walking straight into pity and taking those auto attacks. Hopefully, we will get this scoreboard up shortly. There we go. As disregard the you can disregard the numbers at the top of the screen. This is not a best of series. This is a best of one game between Leviathans and Bombers. So you have not missed any games in this series if you are just joining us. As we'll see who ends up taking this one. Looks like both junglers starting on their blue side.
Yeah, we'll see how well this early game is gonna be. It's all eyes on the junglers. We might. I certainly expect Nunu to be trying something on this Teemo, because you know the passive of the global taunt is immeasurable. It's a huge advantage for Leviathans.
All right, and it is a press the attack Teemo, so looking for more of that on-hit style. I expect a Gnasher's Tooth first item, and not necessarily looking for those super annoying, full AP shrooms that come out. But, ooh.
We are getting word that there's going to be a pause due to the Seraphine.
Yeah, that 400 ping Seraphine looks playable. As,
it might have played up already.
No, the Seraphine is AFK during this whole game because Nunu comes in, but he's in a 1v2, and he might just be going down here. Is forced to flash away as the exhaust comes out, as Stacy's not quite able to clear it, and is now getting minion blocked and has to flash away. And the Bombers, this is just unfortunate from the Bombers here, as Stacy does end up trading one back, but should go down here to Doki, playing a little alcove gaming. As you can see, the idea was good there by the Bombers. It's a little unfortunate that the Seraphine has in fact disconnected.
Then there's the pause
during that play. So hopefully we will be able to get this resolved soon. I'm not sure if we will be continuing on from this game, or if both teams will agree to a remake, as this was very close to the start. I'm not sure what the rules are in place for this, if both teams have to agree to it or what, but we will try and keep you updated as we hear anything. All right, now that we got some time here.
Yeah, there wasn't any remake called, so it looks like the teams have agreed to continue with it. But to me, it's just an internet differential,
I hate when I get gaffed by my internet provider.
Yeah, let's see. Which ones are the good ones? Oh, wait.
Anyone want to take some bets in chat as to who is Stacy, or who is illegally obtained internet provider?
Whoa, betting. In our Twitch stream? Wait a sec.
Alright. Looks like ours are coming out in chat. At least Pity has asked, so we might be getting back into game here shortly.
Yeah. Now that the Hecarim now has a really huge advantage. He went straight for the vertical jungle, and it's gonna be up to the Nunu to see how much he can salvage when we get back into this game.
Yeah, it's definitely a rough start here for Bombers, with Nunu committing to that level 2 gank and now being put extremely far behind. He's going to lose all of his camps up here on his top side, as I think this, if you open up the time control, I think this is just a spectator issue where it doesn't like to play out the game after a pause. We'll see if it continues.
There we go.
There we go. As Okay, so Max or Curiel is able to get in there and secure that Scuttle Crab, and now Doki should just be going down here, hopefully giving this kill over to Pity if they can. But Doki's doing his best to get out of this, but he is going to go down to that passive off of the Vel'Koz, and Pity will pick up this kill, but I don't think Curiel knows that his top side is gone. He didn't even try to go into Hecarim's red side jungle, and now he's going straight into his own, and now Leviathans are going to have full information of where this Nunu is as he walks over a ward, and he's getting absolutely nothing from these 3 camps that were stolen from him.
Yeah, it's looking so rough in terms of his jungle clear, but to be fair, the Nunu is mainly there just to provide pressure for his team. With or without the jungle camps, he will provide the CC and slows that's needed for the setup later on.
Well, you see, there is one problem with that, and that's the, Telltale's time for what Nunu needs to do. He needs to make the enemy jungler as useless as him. And right now, the Hecarim is not nearly close to as useless as the Nunu. So, could be in for a rough one here, as I did see another ping come out on Seraphine's ping, and could be a bit of an issue throughout this game, as it looked like they were still up at close to that 300, 400 ping range. So we'll see how they're able to play this out moving forward. But now Doki is behind, getting right onto, but the smash pushes him out of the Deadly Flourish, and Leviathan is able to walk away unscathed there.
Yeah, it's just small trades and balling, small skirmishes. It really is up to Maokai to see how much disruption he's able to make, especially now.
This root does land onto Stacy. He doesn't have any summoners. We'll see if he's able to get on it, but Melee Vein is not able to find that fourth shot onto Stacy. Just puts it into Seraphine's back, and the wave is pushing away. And with Nunu trying to catch up on these camps, not sure they're going to get a jungle help here to push this wave out, as Leviathan is also running out of mana, and Doki is looking again for this engage, and Stacy might just be dead here. Trying to run away into the alcove, but as soon as Doki finds that root, he lands it, once again hits him out of the flourish, but Melee Vein will find the kill, but is going to go down in a trade. Now legally obtained. No mana on these supports, so now that Curiel is in here, we'll see if they can take him out, but meanwhile in the mid lane, Hecarim just lands that knock-up onto Pity, and Pity flashes but is not able to get out, and Doki is able to walk out of there, so a big win here for the Leviathans. Getting the kill onto where they want. Oh no, as Nunu's just forced out of the river yet again. But Stacy is now back, and Scooter has to be a bit careful here. Already chunked down to half HP, but there's no CC left on the Bombers, and they should just let him walk out. But that is a much-needed crab secured for this Nunu.
Hey, Jason is playing with fire at the moment. He's running really low in the mid lane.
He wasn't in any trouble at all. And man, we look up in top lane and look at this CS lead already opened up by this Teemo. Already doubling, but now Doki has to be a bit careful. Walking he never took a recall, but now Stacy might be in trouble in turn as the Hecarim comes in. Stacy still has heal and is going to burn it to get that movement speed out. And I'm not sure exactly what Doki was doing there, just deciding to stay on the map with 1 HP instead of recalling.
We have the Doki factor, he's trying to get as much as he can possible with the Maokai.
Teemo just wasting Nunu's time up here in top lane, deciding to walk all the way back to his turret like a smart top laner instead of trying to take a greedy recall, and will not get caught out there. But we can see it's still at a 5 jungle camp lead on this Hecarim so far, and if we toggle the gold, I imagine he is very far ahead in gold over this Nunu.
Yeah, definitely a lot of gold coming in for the Hecarim.
Already 700 up.
Having a decent CS lead over Diveris as well, so I'm surprised that he's top gold in the game.
Yeah, that kill plus the 20 CS lead is... I mean, you can see he has a 20 CS lead over everyone in the game. So he's really the only one that's still picking up his farm, as Doki looking for a little engage here onto Seraphine as the Jinno opens up. As Leviathan tries to flash, but barely dodges that fourth shot as the Misfortune comes in to block that last deadly flourish. Illegally obtained, playing with fire there as now Scooter is going in onto Pity. The fear lands, but it fears Pity straight back to his turret, and Jason's about to die to minions. He's got to be careful here. He's not going to be able to get this wave, and now Scooter's in trouble. Pity doesn't have ult, so I think they're going to... Oh my god, he gets the double! What was that?
Simple geometry coming in from the Vel'Koz. That was so insane. Jason tried to provide covering fire over the wall, but in the end just got hit by the Q split from the Vel'Koz.
No, that can't happen. They both got out. Oh no. Now 3 kills onto this Vel'Koz, you know, keeping up with about that 9.5 CS per minute. He's gonna be so far ahead of the pace of this game now, as the Dragon's also going over to the Bombers.
Yeah, nice red Drake coming in. A decent bit of damage. As oh no, the Trundle's gonna lose so much if he dies here.
Oh no.
This Trundle is not gonna have a good time against the team. I think Bombers have sort of left him on an island currently.
Alright, well, if we take a look real quick at this gold graph before you take it away. Pity is up so much gold, but now he's just ulting under a turret and just kills Jason under his own turret. And yeah, not a good look here for Jason in this game too. As we'll see if we can get this gold graph off of the screen shortly, but now Nunu's coming in for a gank. The Seraphine's going to miss, and now Doki's buying time with that ult. It's just dealing so much damage onto illegally obtained, and now the Jinno is coming out and no one's blocking. We'll see if they're able to. They are able to finally get in front and block those shots as well as take down Doki, but honestly well played by this Leviathan's bot lane. Almost able to trade back kills there.
Yeah, the Seraphine is yet to be at the level 6 currently. Yeah. She's still a bit of ways towards that initial combo, so that's ended up a lot closer than it probably should have been.
Yeah, pretty far away from that 6, but man, that Maokai damage coming out with the ult plus the ignite just bought so much time for the Jhin to get away and open up, but in the end just wasn't able to find that angle to, you know, finish off the Seraphine, who lived with 1 HP in a fight. But if we take a look at some Mythics completions coming in, Teemo actually goes for the Riftmaker first item. The Jhin has completed his Gale Force, and then this Vel'Koz has completed his Liandry's, so gonna be a lot of damage coming out here. And we'll see how Leviathans is really able to stand up to Pity's Vel'Koz damage here. As Doki's got to be a bit careful here, but is just going to be able to walk away. But now he just goes straight in, and Pity just opens straight up. But now Pity's kind of in a bad spot here. Jumped back. But man, that Nunu just bought enough space with the Absolute Zero, is able to get his team out as the Seraphine comes in to try and heal. But man, Bombers are kind of all over the place. Not sure if they want to go in or back out, but in the end, they are able to trade back some kills and go 2 for 2 overall. But if they were on the same page, they could have definitely gotten 4 kills out of that one.
That was just a light show. Ultis went everywhere. Misfortune's ulti angled downwards, Pity's ulti angle.
Yeah. The Vel'Koz was just in a bit of an awkward position once the Hecarim came up from behind, having to flash away just to try and buy a little bit of space in. They are able to get out, so didn't pass over those shutdowns, but definitely have to pay more attention to his positioning now that he has no flash on this Vel'Koz. As you hate to see it, as the Hecarim finishes Divine Sunderer. It's just unlucky, man. Hecarim's just, it's too hard to build.
Yeah, people see people see how long Hecarim can survive with the Divine Sunder, and they think it's more optimal than not. As Dogi is now always in the front lines. He's fighting a war on his own at the moment. As he once again, he might be caught out. Nah, he'll just walk away from that.
Alright. He's gonna walk a bit. Nunu's coming straight in onto melee vein. He's able to dodge the snowball with no absolute zero. Might be able to get away, but no, the knockup lands from Pity. But Nunu gets rooted up under turret, and that's going to be a trade back as the final tower shot comes in and is able to clean up the kill. And now Scooter's coming in, looking for that engage. Gets a knock up onto Pity, and he pops the stopwatch. See if he's able. He's not going to be able to live out of it. Looks like Doki's going to be able to survive as well, as legally obtained is looking to run away, but Scooter's not having any. He goes straight onto turret, but the charm comes out. I'm not sure about that flash, but in the end, Scooter is able to secure that kill. And he now is up to 4 kills on this Hecarim.
Yeah, this Hecarim is looking real dangerous at the moment. Scaling up and getting close and close to just being a menace in Bomber's backline. Even though it started off in Bomber's favor, it ended up as a 1-for-3. So, right. as the Rift Herald is getting taken here, what do you think their next goal is, as they have a 3k deficit?
Yeah, I think Bombers really just needs to group up and get on the same page in their team fights here, because they seems to have a lot of miscommunication. They have a lot of strong AoE ults, but they aren't using them together. They're kind of using them one at a time in different directions and not really stacking them up. So we'll see if they're able to find a little bit more coordination here, as they do secure the second dragon. So moving towards that soul stack, but still a little bit away from there. So they're gonna have to find some better coordination in their team fights if they want to live long enough to get to that soul.
Yeah, I'd like to point out that this Nunu is getting farther and farther behind than Hecarim. He's currently at a 3-level deficit after that, after the invade and all the events that has occurred. 4 kills for the Hecarim, almost 50 CS ahead of the Nunu. So it's kind of looking more and more rough for the Nunu as the game goes by.
Man, well, yeah, he's been doing his best trying to find these engages for his team, and you know, some of them have been working out, but he's definitely been, the Hecarim's been punishing him, picking up all this farm in the meantime. As yeah, the Nunu's definitely not keeping the Hecarim useless. As Hecarim's actually looking for something on this misfortune if Stacy walks up too far, trying to contest this wave. We'll see if Teemo is able to bait him a bit, tanking turret shots, trying to get something to happen. But now Nunu and Seraphine are here, coming straight in. They still don't know Hecarim's here, and he's just going to clean all straight in onto Stacy. But the charm lands, and he's not able to finish him off just yet. But the Teemo poison will finish him off, and now Curiel is just stuck in a 1v2. Just gets destroyed, and Scooter is just tearing up the entirety of this backline. Just not taking any damage. Finally goes down, but that's a quadra kill over to this Riftmaker Teemo top lane.
This is a pretty good spot for the Teemo. He's providing so much pressure. He's been ahead of the Trundle this entire laning phase, and now that it's getting later to the game, he's providing a lot of damage over time with all these mushrooms being blown up, and having now the 2 items under his belt along with his boots. He has so much bounty. Step
aside, Teemo is the real carry as Jin is forced to flash away from the snowball. I mean, you know, Teemo top lane, you know, is maybe it's just broken. You're getting a quadra kill at 17 minutes into the game. That happens every game, right?
Yeah. Totally, because you know, we haven't seen much of Teemo, but durability patch makes him a lot harder to kill. With Doki on the team, the global taunt is now on Doki instead of the Teemo. So it allows the Teemo to get ahead, get all this farm, get all his items, and become a menace.
Oh man, Mana Legally has to be a bit careful here. Doesn't want to walk into this Hecarim as I don't think Bombers want to take this 3v3 as Teemo just walks away from that ult from Pity. But the Bombers just trying to slow down the game a little bit, get a little bit more scaling going, but looks like they're trying to go in onto Doki here, but Stacy's been cut off by the Hecarim. Now Doki is in a 1v4, Blast Cone has been used, and that's going to be a kill over to Pity. As now Scooter might be in a bit of trouble here, as that Trundle just does so much damage with that Blade of the Rune King. Forces the flash out.
Is he dead? Oh, this might...
No, is barely going to live off of that Ignite, as the Jhin is able to get away from the Nunu. But they get a kill, but they don't really get anything from it. There's no objectives up at the moment. Varus is just pushing top lane. And it's been a bit of a struggle here from Bombers early.
Yeah, I mean, I guess they'll take what they can get. As Jason is in a bad spot here.
Jason might be in a bit of trouble. He drops the exhaust into the ult and just blows him up with those blight stacks. And that's the power of the AP Varus. He just does so much percent max health damage. So a bit unfortunate there from the Trundle, thinking he had the all-in, but not quite able to. But Stacy is going to be here to flash and pick up that kill to trade back 1-for-1.
But now that MF is in the top lane, he's looking to reset and push out the wave, but it looks like Leviathans has full control over this dragon as it's about to spawn. How explosive a fight do you think we'll have with so many ultis already being used?
Yeah, I think it's going to be, rather they still have the Seraphine ult and the Vel'Koz ult. The Nunu ult is almost up, but they would have to buy time for that. But the Jhin ult is just going to come straight out, and the Seraphine ult is able to cancel that out. And now the Teemo gets caught out, and he's going to go immediately down, but the Hecarim just going straight in there into a 1v5. Is forced back because of the Zhonya's onto Pity, but now Doki goes in to try and help. But he's just going to donate another kill over. Now the chase is on. Where's that snowball? It's not quite up, but man, Pity just takes the X-Gate straight into the backline and is going to donate that kill over, as now Ghost is trying to find the jungler to keep him out of the pit. We'll see if Jason can do anything here to try and steal this, but it should just be another dragon over to Bombers as they go up onto Soul Point. A little bit aggressive there by Pity, but overall a good fight by the Bombers.
Yeah, it looked like a lot of Leviathans, they funneled into a small choke point. There was some great Hecarim ulti, but there wasn't much to follow up, especially since the Varus was just coming off of the respawn.
Hey, this Vel'Koz just took out that quadra-kill Teemo, and they just don't have any damage. It's just a Teemo comp, and the Teemo was dead. So. What are you going to do about it? And they do end up pulling the gold lead back a bit. They're still down 4,000 gold, but at least they put themselves on Soul Point for this X-Dragon. And we'll see if they're able to, maintain this kind of gold lead or claw it back a little bit and fight for this Hex Soul, which is going to be a big increase in power for them.
Yeah, it looks... Now we're starting the patient game. One of these teams is gonna have to... Do you think any of these teams would actually try to bait a Baron fight? I don't think that would go in anyone's favor too much.
It would, I think if anyone, the Leviathans at least, are more equipped to tank the Baron. Bombers kind of need Trundle to be there to really threaten the damage on the Baron. Vel'Koz does do some good damage on the Baron, but I don't think between him and Misfortune they can burn it down too quickly. So we'll see if anyone decides to go for it. I think it's risky on both teams to go for it. If they get caught out, there's a lot of AoE damage that can come out from the enemy team. But Bombers thought they might have caught Teemo, but he was not in that bush, so he's going to be able to kite it out as the Doki split pushing mid lane. secures a turret.
That's good macro.
As now
Spike
Scooter
going
might be
into
caught
Sasha.
out a bit. The knockup does land, and they're going to force him to ult out and the Teemo to flash away, but now the re-engage comes in from that Maokai ult plus the Jhin ult, but no one's going down. And now Doki just ends up donating his life over as Tucker gets hit by a slow. We'll see if they're able to follow this up. He gets hit by another one into the knockup. A second knockup follows up, and Petty secures yet another kill, now up to 10 kills. Really being the hope for his team in terms of damage. But now he's TPing up to the top lane. Has to be careful of this Verisalt. Doesn't want to get hit by that or he could go down. Just kiting it out well and just flashes away from it. And they're going to be able to clean that up with Stacy. Coming in securing that kill. You know, much needed. Trundle would never have finished that one.
Yeah, and with 2 down, they look like to be positioning around the Baron, trying to start it up right now.
Alright, well, see if they're able to do this. Seraphine can keep them pretty healthy, but Vel'Koz isn't here, so it's gonna take a while. Let's see if Scooter can maybe find a positioning to get in there and look to steal. He doesn't have ult, but he does have his Ghost. So we'll see if Trundle is able to mark him and keep him out. It looks like he's able to, as the Nunu is able to secure that Baron. And that's just a huge gold swing over to the Bombers off of that really poor engage by the Leviathans.
Yeah, I guess the next objective now we're trying to be setting things up, trying to get this bot push. The bot tower is still available, but even with like the entire fight happening in favor of Bombers, a lot of towers did go down across the map. Leviathans were able to capitalize some global gold off of it in the end, and they're more free to take a lot more control of vision, especially with this Teemo still being confidently split pushing in this top side.
Well, the big thing we need to focus on here is Dragon is going to be up in 50 seconds. We'll see if either team actually gets there early to set up any sort of vision control onto the objective, or if they're all just going to walk into it. But a couple Teemo Shrooms in the area, but both teams kind of posturing from either side as Doki might be caught out here, but is able to get out there. Now they think they've spotted Hecarim on the flank and should be able to chase him away, not overcommit too much. But this whole time, Teemo is just putting pressure up in this top lane, chipping away at this turret little by little, as the Trundle now tries to go for an all-in, drops the ult, is blinded, but should be able to clean up this kill as soon as that blind lands in. That was a lot of damage that came out from this Trundle with that lethal tempo proc.
And then they're trying to drift into here.
Not quite labeling it, but the charm does land onto Jason over the top with the bullet time and the Vel'Koz ult. But now Scooter is in the backline dealing a lot of damage. But he's going to have to run away from the absolute zero. He's maybe barely going to go down to that ignite. And now Doki gets sniped by that misfortune auto attack. And across the map, that was just a 4 for nothing. And Bombers are going to get so much out of it. They should get a bunch of turrets plus getting this soul.
Yeah, I don't like what they were trying to do there. They were trying to like re-engage underneath the tower. Doki trying to force a play, and in reality it just backfired, leaving them vulnerable to how easy the Bombers can, you know, just press R, to be honest. Now Soul Point going with the Bombers, and a trap is set. Who will roll main?
Well, I believe they saw him on that blue trinket. But Doki is going to walk in, just gets immediately popped. And I guess they didn't see them on that blue trinket as Doki just walked straight in there, not realizing they were there. And man, this Hextech Soul is just going to make this poke so much worse now. Just getting hit by that Misfortune Make It Rain, or getting hit by any of these Seraphine Qs, these Vel'Koz Qs. It's gonna be so rough for them to find any sort of posturing in front of objectives at this point.
Yeah, you know, one thing I haven't been seeing much of the Teemo is a lot of Teemo is setting up, right? Setting up scrims around the fights, setting up scrims in more escape routes than anything. And
why does Teemo have a hurricane?
Yeah, I was looking at that.
All right, he's putting this Hurricane to good use here up in top lane as the Trundle's trying to run for his life. The team was putting down a ton of damage, and Trundle's going to have to flash out as it was not a fair fight with Teemo bringing all of his friends, but not sure how much value Teemo's going to be able to get from this. And now he's just going to walk straight in to the CC combo and going down. And man, this that earlier on Quadra kill is starting to look more like a fluke than an expression of skill.
As Sasha is now in the jungle caught out, this is...
He's gonna have to ult away from that Seraphine ult so he does not go down, and things really just flipped on their head for the Bombers. They got a couple good team fights, got the Baron, got the Soul, and now the Leviathans are really struggling to figure out how they can play out their comp from here.
Yeah, as you can see from the gold graph, Leviathans really just lost so much over the last few team fights, and even though they try to keep forcing things, it's never in a more advantageous spot for them, to be honest. They don't have vision on the enemy team. They have to realize how what abilities they have to bait out of Bombers. They have to try to get rid of the front line. They have to try to bait out the Seraphine ulti, and they have the tools to interrupt. It's more of just trying to.
Oh no! Trundle, he almost actually he might get this kill. The minions actually take out the Varus, but the Trundle does end up getting kited out, as the Teemo has to immediately flash away from teleporting up to top lane. And just some more kills going, or some more gold going in the direction of the red team, as our scoreboard has appeared to have disappeared. See if we can get that resolved, but this Teemo's got to be careful here. He's just going to get knocked up and taken down once again by Pity, and Teemo's just having a bit of a rough time here trying to dodge these Vel'Koz skill shots with all the slows coming out of him, as now Doki's in a bit of trouble, but should just be able to walk away here, as looks like Bombers are just turning to go for this Baron, as it's respawned now, and with Jhin down in the bot lane, I'm not sure they're gonna be able to contest this, besides maybe Scooter looking for a steal. But Pity's not having that, is marking him and keeping him away from the Baron buff. So this is gonna be a free Baron going over to the Bombers, as the Jhin tries to trade back what he can on the bot side of the map.
Yeah, we're switching over the scoreboard currently because it had crashed.
Let's go!
So, as we now have a more proper going up there. Unfortunately, we lose the beautiful faces of our team logos, but this will do for now.
Alright, so, looking at this game, they're now 3,000 gold behind. They're down Baron, down Soul, Elder Dragon spawning in a minute and a half. What does Leviathans need to do to try and get themselves back into this game? Or is there anything they can do?
All honesty, I would like to see more of a flank. If they're able to control the vision and try to set something up in the enemy jungle, while having the Teemo on the front lines trying to place the shrooms. We have to find the Bombers in a more uncomfortable spot. Trying to force them into a position of their carries actually being threatened. But that's gonna be really hard to do considering what damage outputs they currently have.
Alright, well, let's see if they can find it, but for now it's gonna be a bit difficult, as we're just kiting back and setting up for this Elder Dragon. There is some vision in the red side jungle, but now Trundle's looking for an all-in onto team when the blind comes out, but as soon as it ends, Trundle just eats him in like 3 autos. And yeah, it's a bit of a struggle up here for this Teemo at this point.
The Trundle animation looks so funny. He has lethal tempo, and his attack speed just keeps building up. But now without the Teemo, they aren't able to have, the amount of gold that was put into the Teemo. None of the damage is going to be coming out for this fight, and Leviathan has to be careful, or else it's the end of the game for them.
On the plus side, Trundle can't join this fight. It's still going to be a 4v4. Trundle's just taking your base. We'll see if Doki takes the Hex Gate in, looking for a flank. And they actually split up here, and they're separated as Legally Obtained just gets immediately shut down, as now Scooter is in the back line. But the Jason ends up going down as well, and yeah, they're just too far down in stats here, as that's a triple kill over to Stacy, and they're just immediately TPing into top lane, looking to end the game on this push. As Teemu is actually just destroying this Trundle, but it's not going to be enough. And that should do it here, as I think these two are enough to end the game before Misfortune even gets here.
Yeah, they just finished up the Elder Drake, and they're just looking for a definitive finish here.
Just waiting for that minion wave to come in, and there we go. And that's going to be Bombers taking their second game, finally putting a win on the board, putting themselves to 1-1 in this first week. As they take a pretty good game off the Leviathans here, as they're looking to pad the stats a bit. Actually, Pity goes down, ruining his KDA, and just a couple more hits, guys. Just one more. There we go. There. As they finally end the game here and put a win on the board for the Bombers.
Just trying to do a little bit of an end game, stat buffering, boosting the stats.
And you just can hear it now. That death that Pity just had, that's gonna move him at least one rank down in the power rankings next week.
Oh yeah, we have to do that now.
Ruining that KDA. So it's a bit unfortunate, but it is what it is.
As you can see, how much damage Pity was able to put up. So game's MVP goes to Pity.
Yeah, I think that's it's a pretty good conclusion. Stacy tried to pull it back and take something from him, but just the amount of work that Pity did in the early game to really keep them in the game when they were down the gold lead, just really carried them through for everyone else to actually finish up some items. So well played there by the Bombers. And with that, unfortunately, Void is not going to be here this week to be hosting the After Dark Emerald League stream. So we will be ending our stream here and hopefully have that After Dark stream for you next week when Void is back and available to host.
Yeah, all the flaming that goes on to the other players and stuff in the After Dark, just start flaming Void in general chat.
Any flame you want to send at someone else, just send it to Void instead. And I think we'll all be good.
Yeah. Sigma's like, wait. Oh no.
All right, please don't actually flame Void. But if you have anything you want to say, we don't have an After Dark stream. You can still put it in banter. And great week one. And we will see you guys all at the latest next week if we do not have anything before next Friday.